I'm Auntie Lisa, the cool aunt, the non-judgmental aunt, the one you can go to for just about anything. Come on, let's find out what life lesson I have for you today. It's Auntie Lisa's Life Lessons. Hi, welcome family. It's time for another edition of Auntie Lisa's Life Lessons. And today I was going to do an episode about life's simple pleasures, but I'm going to hold off on that for 1 week. So if you have a simple pleasure in life, I would love for you to share it with me. Please do so. Go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Auntie Lisa's Life Lessons. And Auntie is spelled Auntie. Auntie Lisa's Life Lessons. Or you can email me, auntielisalifelifelessons@gmail.com. Tell me what your simple pleasure in life is. Something that doesn't cost, let's say, costs less than $25. But it's a simple pleasure in life that gives you joy and happiness that you can partake in at any time. Okay, we're going to talk about those probably next week. I was going to do it this week, but because I'm such a sympathetic person and an empathetic person, there have been some things that have happened in the past 24 hours that I really need to talk about. And with you, my family, I just think this is something that we need to talk about. Is it a life lesson? Yeah, in a way. It's something that we all need to deal with. And it hurts on so many levels. And that is, of course, the mass murders that have been taking place. I'm not going to call them mass shootings, because I think that negates some of what it is. These are all out, straightforward mass murders. And they hurt my heart so much. Do I take them personally? Almost. Almost, because, y'all, one of the things that I talk about, and I'm not a preachy person. I'm really not a religious person. But I call my religion love. To me, the most important thing in this world is love. Love is going to be what I feel heals this world. And is the only thing that is going to heal our society. The problem is, it is so hard to combat hate with love. But that's the only thing you can do. So when I see something like this, it hurts my heart so much. And it's so hard for me to love the shooter. So I sit there and I think to myself, all right, I may not be able to love the shooter, but let me pour all the love I have into everyone else, into every victim's family, into everyone nearby. Let me pour this love I have. And that's what I do. And that's why I get so exhausted every time there's a mass murder. But I had to talk about these mass murders that have happened in the past 24 hours because there's been 2 of them. Yesterday. Today, by the way, is August 4th, 2019. In case you're listening to or watching this at a different time, this is what I'm talking about. And on August 3rd, 2019, in El Paso, Texas, a 21-year-old white male walked into a Walmart with an assault rifle, an assault-type rifle, and shot up a whole bunch of people, murdered 20 people, injured 26 others. I'm looking over at my notes in case you're wondering. In order to do this, this man, and by the way, I will never name a mass murderer. Whenever I talk about any of this stuff, I will never give their names because I am of the school that I'm not going to give them their 15 minutes of fame. They don't deserve it. I would rather focus on the victims and give them all my love. They're the ones that deserve the attention. But this person lives 650 miles away from El Paso. So he had to drive 650 miles to carry out his hate-filled action. And it was a hate-filled action. The reason why he did this is because he had hate in his heart for Mexicans and Mexican Americans. In Dayton, Ohio, overnight, at 1:07 local time this morning, August 4th, 2019, a man who is described as a young white male shot 9 people dead and injured 27 others with an assault-type rifle. That lasted less than a minute, less than 3 minutes, they said, before police were able to shoot him. Now, he was killed. So total death toll in Dayton, Ohio this morning was 10, including the shooter. And 27 were injured. Now, you see, I'm starting to get all upset because it hurts me so much, the senseless killing. Again, that was with an assault-type rifle. Just a week ago, in California at the Gilroy Garlic Festival, 3 people were killed and 15 were injured when a young man, a 19-year-old white male with an assault-type rifle, because he was very angry, is how he said it, started shooting. This stuff has got to stop. And the reason that it upsets me so much is twofold. Number one, the ease of which we can get these assault-type rifles that fire so fast, so quickly, and cause so much damage in such a quick amount of time. Yes, I know we are built on a set of amendments with the right to bear arms. But do we need to fire so quickly to collect our food? I don't think so. Now, my own daddy, my stepdaddy, Philip, whom I love, has an assault rifle that he calls Linda. He named it after my mama. I don't think we need assault-type rifles, guys. And I know that this is a can of worms that people are very passionate about. But fam, when there are 20 people killed and 26 wounded because some guy decides he hates Mexicans and Mexicans Americans and is going to drive 650 miles from his hometown to a border town just so that he can enact his hate-filled revenge. Or 9 are dead and 27 injured because somebody decides to walk outside of a nightclub in Dayton, Ohio and just start shooting with a rapid-fire rifle. Or somebody who is angry, and the FBI still don't know why this young man was so angry. It was first reported that he was a white nationalist, but the FBI said, we can't say that right now. His stuff is all over the place. He was just angry. 3 dead. And one of those dead was an adorable, adorable little boy. And in El Paso, the ages dead ranged from children, baby children, to an 80-year-old. Why? Two things I'm going to tell you are in common for all 3 of those shootings. 1, assault type rifles. 2, hate. Each one of those shooters had hate in their heart for someone or something. And as I've said before, love is my religion. I can guarantee you that growing up, those 3 white young men somehow did not get enough love in their life. And what does that say about us? Does that say that we, as a society, are ignoring our children as they grow up? Did their parents not give them enough attention? Were they so wrapped up in their lives that they were like, go on, do whatever you're going to do. Get out of my face, kid. Play your video games. I don't have time for you. What was it? What was it that these guys grew up to have so much hate for a segment of society, for themselves, for whatever it is that they had to take out all this hatred on 20 people, on 9 people, on 3 people? You follow what I'm saying? So, I had to do this. My family of birth, my sister, my stepdaddy, my brother, my nephews, even everybody I know in my family, they call me the bleeding heart liberal. And I guess right about now, I'm showing that I'm kind of a crying heart liberal because I'm so sad about this. But I feel it so deeply. I think it's time that we do something. The time for thoughts and prayers is long past. Long past. We've got to do something about the availability and the ease at which people can get and use these assault rifles. They are unnecessary for private citizen use. I totally understand their use in the military. I totally understand their use in police forces. And do not come at me with, well, a well-armed militia. Dude, if you're that scared of the government, there's other problems there. We don't need rapid-fire assault rifles in private citizens' hands. We don't. Yes, rifles for food. I'm totally down with that. I'm totally down with that. I'm totally down with a 9mm for personal protection. Totally. I myself have a .22 revolver. Yes, it's only a .22, but I have a revolver that my daddy gave me to replace a revolver that my grandpa gave me that no longer works because, long story, it got bent. But anyway, I personally have a handgun. But semi-automatic and automatic assault rifles are totally unnecessary in private citizens' hands. The past 24 hours, there have been 30 people who are now dead. It's unnecessary. And it doesn't need to be anymore. So that's what I needed to say about that. I don't think that the shooters probably had any sort of love in their life, or they wouldn't have had developed that kind of hate. When you hear that kind of hate, please try to counter it with love as much as you can. It's hard, I know. Don't give mass murderers their recognition. They don't deserve the recognition. I think a lot of them are looking for their 15 minutes of fame. Don't give them the 15 minutes of fame. Instead, focus on their victims. Let's love them. My son, 17-year-old, he's on the autism spectrum. He has expressed some hate recently. There's one person he mentions quite often how much he hates this person. He's developing a political nature, and I have to keep reminding him, we don't hate in this family. You can dislike policies, you can dislike the things that this person stands for, but we don't hate. Because this is what hate leads to. So when I say I love you, I mean it. I love you. Let's not give in to the hate. The only thing I'm intolerant of is intolerance. The only thing I hate is hate. Auntie Lisa's hurting today, y'all. I'm hurting so bad. It's time we start doing something, and the only way it's going to be done is through love and through political activism. But you've got to remember to do it in a way that is positive. Because you know I'm all about positivity, right? So I wanted to mention 2 quotes. First quote is from Mother Teresa. She used to say, if I'm invited to an anti-war rally, I'm not going to go. Because it's a negative way of putting it. However, if you invite me to a peace rally, I'll be there. You see how the positive way of saying it is? So that's one thing to look at. The other thing I wanted you to hear about today was something that Kevin Smith put out this morning. Kevin Smith, the writer, director of really juvenile films, but I love the man so much. He is on my list of celebrity crushes. He said today on his Facebook and Twitter, he posted, please create something today. Create something positive. Create on behalf of all the people killed in the last 24 hours, robbed of their chance to ever create again. Create because you might help someone get through all this destruction with your creation. Just create. Please. Kevin Smith. Well, Kevin, I hope my podcast is something that you consider creating. I'll be crocheting today. I'm working on a blanket full of an inappropriate word, by the way, for a friend of mine. All sorts of... Side note, it's got tiles, and each square has the F word in it. And I'm going to be putting it all together like a Granny Smith Afghan, but it's all with the F word. And it's my friend's favorite word, so she's going to love it when it's all put together. As I said, no judgment from Auntie Lisa. So remember, be positive and do what you can to combat hate. Please. My heart can't take much more of this, and I feel it all so personally. Remember, I love you. Wholeheartedly, I love you. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at the people around you. When you hear the hate, please try to combat it. And do what you can on your part to combat the we all need assault rifles mentality, because I don't think a private citizen needs to have that kind of firepower to be able to kill 20 people, 9 people in 3 minutes. It's not necessary. So that's our life lesson today. Remember our mantra, other than love. Love is always up there, but my mantra is always, be bold, be brave, be unstoppable. Where love is concerned. I think I'm going to have to adjust that to never hate as well. There's our second mantra. Okay, first mantra, be bold, be brave, be unstoppable. Second mantra, never hate. This is Auntie Lisa. Until next weekend, I love you.